Someone whose presence is sorely missed but clearly felt at Comic-Con is, of course, Carrie Fisher, which is why I'm with Joe Madalena of Profiles in History. Joe, tell me about all this amazing stuff you have on display here today.
Okay, September 23rd, we're going to be having an auction of the personal property of Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, so we thought we'd bring some of the highlights. The fans have been going crazy because it's really cool to celebrate these women's amazing lives and careers.
And what makes Comic-Con the perfect venue for putting this stuff out there?
It's Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. This is Princess Leia, and this is a great chance just to celebrate the careers, you know? That's all it's about. This is Carrie's hand-annotated shooting script from Empire. All her corrections, notes to herself, that's pretty important. Her director's hat that she wore when she was on set from Empire. Some great photos of her, you know, being carried by some stormtroopers. These are all unpublished photographs, and it's Carrie just being Carrie. I mean, she was just a character. Her dog, Gary, became a huge personality.
Gary!
Right? So this is, you know, Carrie and Gary. And, you know, she said the only guy that never let her down, right? That was her thing, so I think that's fun. Gary and Carrie for president, because they thought they would run in the independent ticket, so they ran for president. We didn't all know that. One of the most charming things in the collection is Debbie Reynolds was a Girl Scout mother. And here's their calendar. There's Debbie. And in the second row, number 12, is young Carrie Fisher with her mom as a Girl Scout. The fun part for me is like finding these things now. This is how you want to remember them.
Please tell me again what this is.
This is a sex bot. Oh my God, we're politically incorrect here. But you know, so this is a real phone booth. This is Carrie's sense of humor. Carrie went to London. She had this thing flown back to America, okay? She was given this Princess Leia figure and as a kind of like a practical joke, and she fell in love with it. This thing's been taken all over the place, and it ended up being on the front porch of her house. You'd go to the front door, and this would be next to the front door. For the Star Wars fans, because it's Star Wars, obviously, this is probably a lot more valuable because it's Star Wars. So this could be $20,000, I don't know. Good morning to you. Debbie was best known, obviously, for Singing in the Rain. I mean, she had a long career, but that kind of launched it. She was 18 years old. These are original stills from her collection, and it's just a wide variety. This is The Unsinkable Molly Brown. She was nominated for an Academy Award. It's her shooting script. These are comic books that were given to Carrie by the writers, so we had them graded. This is great. It's a note from Sidney Poitier. To whom it may concern, please excuse Carrie Fisher from most things. With love, Sidney Poitier. That's Carrie Fisher. I don't know any other way to sum up her personality, but only she would get Sidney Poitier to sign that. It's her hall pass. This was done by a famous artist named Heinrich. This is an early poster done by the Hildebrandt, inscribed to Carrie Fisher. This was something that Carrie actually wore. Debbie Reynolds, for 30 years, she tried to build a museum. And of course, part of the museum was going to be a Carrie Fisher Star Wars exhibit. So Carrie had signed these posters, and these one day would have went into this museum. So that's why these exist. So these posters were either signed by Carrie or George Lucas. So these are the best Star Wars posters in the world because they were Carrie's. So we have every one of the original Star Wars posters from Empire, Jedi, and A New Hope. This is probably a $60,000 to $80,000 camera. This is from the 30s. This is a real motion picture camera on a real dolly. You know, old school. I mean, you know, nowadays everything is digital and electronic. This is real. This is part of Debbie's collection. Debbie had 50 or 60 cameras. We probably have 30 of them in the auction. We have Francis Ford Coppola's camera that shot The Godfather. That Debbie acquired from Francis Ford Coppola. This is Debbie Reynolds' costume that she wore in Singing in the Rain. It's a very famous scene where she jumps out of a cake, and this is the poster, you know, a 3-sheet that's signed by Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds, and Gene Kelly. A lot of the things you're seeing is part of the massive collections these two women acquired to one day put in an exhibit, and obviously it didn't happen.
Now tell me about your relationship with Carrie and Debbie.
I knew Debbie for probably 35 or 40 years. I met her when I was a young kid when I came to California, and I met her at an auction, and because we had old Hollywood in common, we just struck up a friendship. 2010, I guess, we had the honor of having her auctions of her personal Hollywood collections, which were the most extraordinary costumes ever assembled, and her 3 auctions at about $30 million. This is different because it's not the Marilyn Monroe dresses. This is their personal property, so I have no idea. I'm hoping that we can raise as much money as possible because one of the wishes is there are 2 organizations that these women want to benefit, and one is the Thalians, which is a Hollywood-based group that works with hospitals and, you know, provides care to people who don't have assets to be in hospitals, and one is the Jed Foundation, which something Billy's involved with. This is a crisis suicide hotline. So a lot of the proceeds are being donated, so we're hoping the more the better. It would be nice if this auction did at least $1 million.